Good afternoon and welcome to Listen at Lunch. So, as usual, this is your time. This is 20 minutes for you to take away some wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding from one of our experts. So, Shane, you are definitely in my dream team.
Yes.
You are in my work dream team because from the moment I started my business, you have been supportive, you have told me when I'm wrong, I have asked for help and you've guided me into all sorts of different things. So you're part of my dream team. But there's a lot of people that don't even know what a dream team is because they haven't got one. Why do you think it's important that we have a dream team as individuals?
Well, as individuals, it's important because you can vent, you can go to them when you need them, whether it's for that direct advice or maybe some indirect advice. It's really important. But then from a business point of view, it's important to have a good network around you who are supportive but also who are driving you and pushing you forward as well.
When I started my business, I'd never made business decisions. I knew everything there was to know about making videos, working on TV adverts. I knew my craft, but then to turn that into a business, I didn't know how to do accounts. I didn't know about tax. I didn't know about HR. There was just so many things I didn't know that for me, when I joined the chamber, it was an opportunity to learn all those things. But what I did find is I only learnt them because I was happy to be vulnerable. I'm somebody who is so kind of open. I'm happy to walk into a room and say to somebody, I don't know how to do this. And I think that's really important. If you can't show that you're vulnerable, then people can't support you.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of proud people and that's a good thing, but it also can cause obstacles as well by being too proud. And if you are open and you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know the stuff that you need to be better with or better at, then you can surround yourself with people who can point you in that right direction so you can turn them weaknesses into strengths really without getting too cliche about it.
Do you think that's different between men and women?
I think men, and I'm not going to compare men to women as such, but from a bloke's point of view, if you like, I think men can be overly proud and almost too close sometimes. It's if they're building something like a business, it's their baby, like anyone in life. If they're building something, it's their baby. But I think blokes are just have that I'm a tough lad sometimes, and it's a shell, it's a front, it's not true, and you need people around you to break that down a little bit to then open you up and then look at those areas that are weaknesses and see where you can move them to. Women
do tend to talk more about the feelings and about the things that they want or the things that they don't want. So I find it easier. I sometimes think it is much harder sometimes for men to be vulnerable because nobody expects them to be that vulnerable. You are kind of going against the grain sometimes. It feels now that we've got an environment where people can be more vulnerable and can ask for support. I just wonder if, like you were saying before, I wonder if people sit back and evaluate their dream team. Do you think we're aware of the people around us, or do you think sometimes we just kind of float along and you get pulled into... Are we in control of our dream team?
And I don't think most people are. I think we almost float and not really understand building your dream team. It almost just is created for you in some ways, if that makes sense.
I think my experience has been quite similar, and I think it's something that comes with age, where you have less time because you work a lot, and often then you've got families and you've got children, and so the hours that you have, you want to use those hours with your precious people, don't you? Often that some people, I suppose, get left behind, don't they? I consciously have left people behind personally, because as I've got older, what my values and what I want to do in life don't always align with people that I might have grown up with. But I never allow that to be a negative kind of, it's never a breakup or a fallout. I just I try to distance myself. If somebody's thinking and behaviours and things are not really aligned with mine, or I find it quite negative, quite draining, then I do tend to distance myself. Do you actively think about the people you've got around you? Do you step away from people? Do you actively try to spend time with certain people?
Yeah, I'm very open, and I'm kind of an open door to start with, but as soon as I get wind that they're a bit of a drainer, that they're a negative mini and all that kind of stuff, then that's when I switch off. I'm not interested. I only want... You can't always be positive. You're not going to be positive 100% of the time. I completely get that, but if you're a drainer 100% of the time, there's a big difference there. So I'd rather just go, that person personally for me is not for me.
Yeah.
I'll still support them if they're part of the wider network at work or anything like that, but personally I'd probably distance myself from them. And there's other examples where I've distanced myself, probably not consciously, away from people, but you've said it there, we have lives take over.
So if we are going to give some advice or some top tips, something that people can take away, what would your top tip be?
So I've got kind of two really, and we've covered it already, but it's always good to kind of reflect and go back on it. Is drainers is one. So working out who those drainers are, and I'm not saying ditch them on the spot, but almost be conscious and be aware that you might need to just distance yourself when you need to. But be conscious of who you want in your dream team, who you want surrounding you to make a positive impact on you. That's probably the two things I'd say.
I think one of the tips and advice I would give is to make sure that your closest people, and they're generally the people that you're in relationships with, so whether that's husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, kids, sometimes you don't want to get rid of that person. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you need to have an honest conversation with them and say, can you change your behaviours with me? Because I want to change my behaviours and it would be really helpful if you could do that with me. It's important to ask, isn't it? To maybe go into work or maybe in that team meeting and say, I don't think that we've got the dream team here. I think if we are going to get to the goal that we are aiming for, we might need somebody to do this or somebody to do that, or we need to change our behaviours.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think the takeaway from me is be conscious of the people that you have around you. Make conscious decisions, whether that's leaving people behind or reconnecting with people that were the right people, or speaking with people that are around you and bring them on board. Try and make sure that they are part of your positive journey, and then you can also make them conscious of their dream team. Yeah,
the more I'm talking about, the more conscious I'm probably think I am around it really, because we've employed the right people at the chamber. We're very lucky. We've got a fantastic team. When I say lucky, it's us employing them people, and we go on personality to fit in with the culture. So we want those people who are on the bus with us, not just as passengers, but we're all trying to drive it to get to the same place really. And probably as well, a bit more conscious than I thought I was around my personal life, having those group of mates. I didn't have to be friends with those people, but I wanted to be and I chose to be. So I probably am a lot more conscious than I think I am, but I still think there's a lot of people who kind of float a little bit between groups and of people through work or through friends, where being a bit more conscious about it and having the right people around you surely will see you take off in the right direction.
I think so. So as far as if somebody wants to help maybe build their network at work, or if they run a business or anything, what do they do? What's the...
Yeah, so the Chamber, we're open to any business in any sector of any shape and size. If they want to connect with us and help us grow their network, kind of be a connector like we said earlier, then we've got a website, brchamber.co.uk. We're all on LinkedIn, so personally anyone can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, and we can point you in the right direction or to the right type of event that could support them.
Yeah, I think that type of event, because if somebody's really shy,
yeah.
if they're really good at their job but they think, oh, I couldn't go into network and I don't want to hand business cards out, then you've got that, you'll support them into that event, won't you?
Absolutely. We are aware that we need to create lots of diverse events to hit the right audiences.
Yeah.
And not every event is for every person, because they are confident or comfortable in certain environments probably more than they are in others. So yeah, reach out on LinkedIn, get on the Chamber website, all the information's on there, and I'm happy to chat to anyone.
And thank you for being part of my dream team.
No problem.
Boom.
That's easy. We'll go with that then.